Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. Today is May 9th, 2025. I just got finished eating. Now I'm hot. Yesterday was fucking freezing cold at work, and I didn't bring my sweater. So today I put on my sweater and my uniform. And now it's super fucking hot. And yesterday it was like dark and rainy and cool. And my dumbass did not charge my fan. That new fan, by the way, I got a new fan for the car because my car doesn't have AC. I'm in White Rabbit. New fan works great, man. It'll last like 3 or 4 days, with it blowing on me, without having to charge it. So it's a little blessing, and it clips on. I can clip it onto my rearview mirror. So yeah, I'm just gonna sweat my balls off while I podcast. The horrors of podcasting. Do you guys see what I go through? So I worked yesterday. I did put out a Blue Pill podcast yesterday. I'm sorry I didn't get into conspiracies. Today we will. But dude, my week was so fucking crazy. I had to share it with y'all, and it was an entertaining episode. I mean, it's just, life is just fucking nuts, and for some reason, I don't know if it's something in the air, but just everyone was going crazy this week. So fun. So go check that episode out. I think it's titled just My Crazy Week at Work. I don't know, man. I love doing conspiracy podcasts, but sometimes I just want to talk about life and shit, like everyday shit, That's why I created like Blue Pill podcast. So go check that episode out. Yesterday I worked, came home, I beat Link's Awakening. And it's relevant to the channel because I've been doing game reviews here lately. I will do a game review on Link's Awakening. It was beautiful. It's my favorite fucking Zelda. I don't want to go too deep into it, but dude, it's like, I didn't cry when I beat it, but like there's like the ending, and like there's a scene with Marin when you go to the beach together, and it's just like beautiful. It's a beautiful fucking storyline. There's like 2 or 3 parts in that game where I could see someone like crying during it. I'm like, this game is just fucking beautiful. The storyline and the videos and the music, and it was nice to beat it, but it was like, man, this game, it's my favorite fucking Zelda. So now I'm playing Zelda 1 for Game Boy Advance. And look, man, Zeldas are going for like $44 or $50 right now. So I called up the game exchange up the road. I'm gonna get Zelda 3. It's only $25. I told them to put it on hold. I really am not making that much money, but I'm like, dude, it's like half the price of what Zeldas are going for, so I have to get it, man. So I'm gonna go up there and get it, trade in a couple games. Hopefully it'll knock some off, But yeah, let's get on with the show. Today, let me see what we got, because I got a shit ton of conspiracies. So this is I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I told you guys, like, dude, if I ever win the fucking lotto, my full-time job is going to be, first of all, I'm going to create a podcasting studio, because I've always wanted a fucking podcast studio. As you see, this is my portable studio right now. Obviously, you can podcast anywhere, but because I want this to be like a career, I could actually promote it and I could turn it into a career if I just won the lotto, That, and where I've been podcasting and content creating been podcasting about 6 or 7, maybe 8 years, but I've been content creating for like over a decade. And I just always have wanted my own fucking studio where I can close the door, flip the switch, and it says on air so no one comes in. The little bubbles around me, green screen behind me, microphone, and just have my own fucking studio. I've wanted it so bad. One day. If me and Sammy ever bought a house, I'm turning one of the closets into a studio. Even if it's a little tiny closet. I just want my own fucking studio, dude. But if I was ever a millionaire, dude, I would also, besides having a podcast studio, John A. Keel, the author of Mothman Prophecies, he is one of my fucking heroes. He's one of the great icons in the conspiracy community. And I just love the dude. And he wrote for a magazine. I think it was called Fortean Magazine or Fortean Society. Something weird. He wrote for a magazine, and basically he was a journalist. And what he would do was kind of what Linda Moulton Howe would do. She used to work for Art Bell. Art Bell would be in the studio reporting on the shit, but he would send her all over the place and make her check out. Not make her, because it's an awesome fucking job. She would go and check out weird paranormal shit and then report back to him like, oh, there's crop circles in Utah. I'm going to need you, Linda, to go over there, get on ground zero, go check it out, and report back to me, call in for the show, Awesome fucking job. And if I won the lotto, I'd actually be able to do that type of shit as like a full-time job. I'd be able to be like a John A. Keel. And John A. Keel, he loved the weirder, the better. I remember one time he reported on it was like a three-tailed cat or like a two-headed cat. And he literally flew out and drove out there and reported on it. He's like, a two-headed cat. I want to see this shit, Just shit like that, dude. And that was his full-time job. So I would love for this to be my full-time job of just investigating crazy, weird shit. But why I mention that is because this story was so interesting. As soon as I started hearing about it, and there's four different things with this story. There's 4 different stories I'm gonna get into. So blue rain has been popping up in 2 different places in the United States. The third story that I have to tell you, it's real fucking vague. It could be honestly not even a real story. It could be someone jumping on the bandwagon through TikTok, because everybody's on TikTok is like a blessing to the conspiracy community, but I feel certain ways about it. Hang on. So it's a blessing because I get a shit ton of info from it. But it's also, it's kind of aggravating as someone who does long form talking, podcasting. It is kind of damn, dude, you're getting millions of views and you're just talking for 30 seconds and going. And sometimes they're not even talking. They're literally just recording themselves going. They're stealing other people's videos and going. I told you guys, someone clipped a piece of my podcast, never gave me credit. It got millions of views, and I'm like, well, that would have been nice if they would have gave me credit, put a link in, Here I am over here with 430 subscribers, which I'm thankful for, but it's would have been nice to wake up and see 1,000 new subs or something, Just saying. I'm an old school conspiracy theorist, and in our community, we hook each other up and help each other out, But, so blue rain has been showing up all over the United States. This one is from Paranormal Chick. Oh, see how I did that? I told you guys the source. Imagine that if everybody on TikTok would do the same instead of stealing my stuff and... sorry. Paranormal Chick. That's who this came from. Apparently on April 27th, 2025. The location was Central Valley, California. there's been blue fucking rain. This dude was in his backyard and filming puddles of blue rain. Now, there's all this chemtrail shit going on. I told you guys about, go check out 2 episodes ago. We talked about this UK program called Satan, which was like an not an anagram, but an acronym for something aerosol. Dude, they're spraying the fuck out of us. We've been saying it since the 90s and early 2000s. They've been spraying. Like I said, I'm an old school conspiracy theorist, man. I grew up in this shit. You know, they've been spraying the fuck out of us forever, and they've finally admitted it, and they're just coming out and telling us, yeah, we're going to spray the fuck out of you. So the theory is that this blue rain is being caused by chemtrails. Also, too, they admitted, we talked about it, it might have been 2 episodes ago, that Satan episode. Go check that episode out, because I try not to rehash shit. It was either that one or... No, it was UK is now dimming the sun. Go check that episode out. There's not even just chemtrailing anymore. I coined the term, and I hope it catches on and I get credit for it, because I said it first. They're chemsailing now, meaning boats. They're shooting chemicals from boats. So they're chemtrailing and chemsailing. I copyright that shit. And you better give me credit if you're using it. Chemsailing now. So the theory is that this blue rain is coming from chemtrails and or chemtrails. Hang on just a second. By the way, like I said, I'm going to shout out. I've been getting a lot of this info because I don't have TikTok because it's Chinese spyware. I've already talked about it on this channel a billion times. And it's quite possibly a huge attributing factor to the downfall of America. Just saying. I will let other people play with fire, and I will use them to get info, but I'm not downloading that shit, and I'm not taking part in the downfall of America. But Minutes of Horror is where I've been watching. I watch TikTok through other creators, you know what I mean? And Minutes of Horror, so shout out to him, is where I've been getting a lot of this info on blue rain. So that was the first story. That was in California in someone's backyard. Now, here's the second sighting of blue rain. Not in California. So this was in Texas. And all he said was this was a Texas state park. So Texas is huge, but it's pretty far from California. So they're not doing it just in California. The guy was in a state park, and you can tell, like, he's in a state park. He's in the middle of the woods, and he's filming blue rain that is puddling up on top of a tarp that it's looking like it's on the ground, so I'm assuming it's like over his fire pit, you know, to keep his firewood dry and shit. So he's got fire at night, and it's like pouring rain, and it's puddling, collecting blue water, and he's like, it's not just here. He said, I know it's not just here because it's coming down blue over there, and he's got a tarp and a tent, and you can see that it's coming down blue, you know, on the other side of the campsite too. So whatever area, whatever state park, they were causing blue rain. And this kind of ties in with the missing 411 and the Eisenhower deal. Was basically, there's a conspiracy that state parks, Eisenhower, this is how the conspiracy goes. Gray aliens, UFO, flying saucers landed on the White House lawn during Eisenhower, and I'm pretty sure it's Eisenhower, during his reign over America. And supposedly he made a deal with the gray aliens that if you guys give us some of your technology, we will let you do kidnap and do experiments on American citizens. And like I said, I'm not saying I believe this. This is just what I've heard through Sam Tripoli talks about it. Other people have talked about it. This is like an old school conspiracy. So there was this huge initiative to bring in state parks. And state parks are all like government property. They're protected, and I love state parks. As someone who is like a hiking addict, I mean, you guys know, like, I hike like crazy. Me and Sammy, we try to hike as much as possible. We're always going to parks and state parks and all this shit. And we've actually made quite a few hiking videos, so go check that shit out. I might have a playlist, maybe not. But we love hiking. And the conspiracy is that's what all this missing 411 is. Because all these people are always going missing in state parks. And there's always weird fucking shit that happens in state parks. I mean, we went hunting for Dogman in Land Between the Lakes, which is like a state park, Kentucky and Tennessee state park. There's a lot of Dogman sightings and Sasquatch sightings out there. It ties in with the whole staircase conspiracy, which maybe we'll do a whole episode, a deep dive on that. That would be a good episode. These mysterious staircases in state parks and shit, and weird shit that happens with them. Yeah, and just all these people going missing and shit in state parks. So for this person to be in a state park and have blue rain come down on him, it makes total fucking sense. This is just me putting 1 + 1 = 2. If they're using state parks as kind of a testing ground and or kidnapping spots for aliens and CIA and shit, because I do believe that a lot of alien abductions are CIA connected. I mean, go all the way back to Betty and Barney Hill, like the first famous abduction. They literally said there was people in military uniforms there with the gray aliens, you know. Same with just multiple different cases of UFO abductions where they're saying there's either like men in black or men in like Air Force uniforms or military uniforms. Like, they're working with our government, whatever they are, or it's our government just doing some crazy, creepy, weird shit. But yeah, so it ties in perfectly that it's a state park. State parks are just fucking weird as hell. If you know, you know. If you've been in this community long enough, you guys know the weirdness of state parks. From missing 411, abductions, all that shit. So people are saying that it's like toilet water falling down from planes. So apparently, planes, I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure if it's because of the altitude, because it is super fucking cold up there, you know, is what I've heard. I've been in a plane, but obviously I wasn't able to stick my hand out the window, but I've heard it's super fucking cold up there. Like, that's where snow resides, and like shit can ice up and stuff. So I don't know if it's an atmospheric thing or chemicals that they do, but like when they do flush the toilets, apparently it comes down as this thing called blue ice. If you guys know more about like airplanes and shit, obviously hit me up in the comments, but the whole blue ice thing has been debunked. It comes down as blue ice, meaning it comes down as like a solid. And they're not supposed to be dumping that shit, from what I've heard, over land and over state parks and cities and stuff. Because if it comes down as ice, it could fucking kill someone. Where they dump it, I don't know. Maybe they just hold it all, and then whenever they get to the airport, they clear it all out. Or if it's getting too much, if too many people are shitting and pissing, maybe they dump it over the ocean, because the ocean seems to be our favorite spot to dump stuff as human beings. That's why they have Plastic Island and shit. So that's kind of debunked, the whole toilet theory. unless it had like a leak. Maybe the plane had a leak. Which, playing devil's advocate, I could see that, because look at all the stuff that's been going on with planes and shit. We haven't covered too much of it, but I kind of believe what Sam Tripoli says is they don't want us flying, and it ties in perfectly with the Great Reset. Hell, it ties in like with Tartaria and shit. Like back in the day, they wanted us to stop using airships and stuff and switch to airplanes. So they did the whole, like, what is it, the Lindenberg explosion or something like that, the Zeppelin that exploded. That's the theory behind that that was like basically saying goodbye to Tartaria, you know, one of the first great resets, if you believe in the Tartarian timeline, which I do. I think there's something to it. And it would, I mean, one thing is there's all this crazy plane shit. Like every other day there's something crazy going on with planes, like a plane crash. You know, a plane's not going up into the sky because of technical difficulties, or planes having to do emergency landings because of technical difficulties, or just people going batshit on planes, seeing reptilian people or demon possession, you know. And I think what it is Sam Tripoli says the same thing. They don't want people flying. They want us in 15-minute cities, open air prisons. They don't want us traveling at all. They want us all on electric vehicles, one per household probably, walking, skateboarding, riding bicycles. Stay in your little city. Can't go out. Oh, you want to go outside? You can go to the park in the city, you know. They want us in prison, house arrest. I mean, what do you think COVID was? They put everyone on house arrest for like, was it 3 or 4? It was like 4 years that the whole COVID shit lasted. The pandemic, you know, Pan, the god Pan. I don't know. And obvious with this though, with another thing that kind of debunks the whole blue ice toilet plane conspiracy is it was like clearly raining in the video. Like it was dark and raining all over the place, and it was still blue fucking water. So let's get on with the third story. This is the craziest one, but the least believable one, if I'm going to be kind of a skeptic and play devil's advocate. So I'm going to shit on TikTok some more. Look, I am very thankful that more people have woken up. Did I just invent the word? That's horrible English. I apologize. But I'm very thankful that people have awakened more since COVID. Like, COVID backfired on them. People have woke the fuck up since then. And honestly, a lot of people woke up with the QAnon movement. Sadly, there's still Q-tards out there, but QAnon did kind of bite them in the ass too, because it woke a lot of people up. But I think it discouraged a lot of people and turned them off to conspiracy. So it might have worked as a psyop, you know? I don't know. QAnon just pisses me off. But I've noticed that there's a huge rush of conspiracy TikToks, which is cool. But there's a lot of fucking bullshitters who have come in on that huge wave of conspiracy. So this story could be totally fucking bullshit, and I'm getting bullshit vibes, but it's a cool, fun story. So, and it ties in with the blue rain. So this guy says that he heard this story, doesn't tell who, doesn't tell what. This, by the way, this story has like 0 sources. There was a fisherman on the ocean, and he was fishing. And he's been out there fishing all fucking day, and he was thirsty. And there's no video to back this up. This is just a story. Could be complete bullshit, like I said. And it started raining, so he gets out like his thermos, you know, and he's collecting the water. Whatever, cup, thermos, something that he can see the color of the water. And apparently he'd been fishing out there all day and just thirsty as fuck, out in the beaten sun, you know. And he noticed the water's blue, like these other 2 locations who actually have documented evidence. And he doesn't know about this conspiracy because this is all brand new. So he's just like, fuck it, man. I gotta drink water. I don't have any water on the boat. So he starts drinking it. The dude starts tripping fucking balls. And next thing he knows, he's tripping balls. And it's a bigger boat. It's not like a canoe or a kayak or something, or a tugboat. It's like a big boat. Probably like a pontoon or something. And he starts tripping balls. So next thing he knows, like, the boat's getting invaded by like sea creatures, like sea snakes and krakens and evil mermen, you know, with fangs. Like, he's tripping fucking balls, like LSD. First thing I thought was LSD. The reason why I thought this is because, dude, they've experimented, the government, the government has experimented with LSD on people multiple times, and it's not even a conspiracy. It's like an actual fact. Like, you can look this shit up. There was one, I need to do an episode on it. There was one of where they were pumping LSD through the air vents on subway systems in some big city. I think it was New York, could be wrong. Like I said, we'll do a whole episode on it. And people were on the subway going, and it was like in the afternoon. So people were going home from work, and they didn't start tripping until like either on their way home or at their house. So like entire families, you know, because, you know, there's people like, this is after school, this is after work. There's like husbands coming home. There's families, like mothers with their children, riding the subway home from picking them up from school. Like, entire families in their households were tripping balls on LSD, not even knowing that they had inadvertently taken LSD. And it wasn't by choice. It was the government experimenting with LSD. CIA, I'm pretty sure, is, I'll have to do a deep dive, like I said, but I think it was probably CIA connected, because those 3 letters pop up and everything. Whole families just tripping balls at dinner time on a weeknight. Like, can you imagine that too? Because especially not knowing that you took LSD, so like, you're just tripping balls. You would think you're insane. Like, you would probably end up calling the cops or fire department, ambulance, something. Like, dude, I'm going fucking nuts. And then your whole family's going nuts too. Like, the kids and the mom are too. Like, everyone in your family's just going batshit, seeing Mickey Mouse in the corner going, hee hee. And Goofy, gosh, would you like me to cook dinner? Gosh. You know? So the government's been experimenting with LSD forever. So if you see blue water, unless you want free LSD and to trip balls, drink it, you know? Or don't. That's up to you. I feel like Morpheus, do you want to take the red pill or the blue water pill, you know? But my thing is why aren't any of these motherfuckers collecting this shit and getting this shit tested? I've been keeping up with this blue water story because it's been going on for about a week now. And I've been wanting to talk about it, but there's so much in the conspiracy community right now, it's hard to keep up with everything. Like, this notebook is full as fuck with shit that I need to talk about, and it's hard to keep up, man. I only get to do like 1 podcast a day with how busy my life is, and yeah, it's hard to keep up. So I've been wanting to report on this whole blue rain situation. What was I saying though? Oh, why has no one tested this shit? That's the only thing this is the 3rd video that I've seen on the blue rain situation. So it's kind of been a good thing I'm reporting on it late, because I haven't seen anything else besides these three stories. But I haven't heard any news about it, anyone taking it to get tested. If you do collect blue rainwater, do me a favor. If you go to get it tested, make sure you still have some in a jar. I would have multiple jars full of this shit. If it starts raining blue where I live, because we've been getting a lot of rain here lately, I'm going to start checking the rain. I'm going to have tons of little jars, mason jars. Because when you send it in to get tested, this has happened before in the conspiracy community. We all know. We've heard this. Oh, we lost your sample. And sometimes people only have that one sample. And they conveniently lose it. Or someone conveniently breaks into the water testing place or lab or whatever you send it to, and they didn't steal anything but your sample. That's happened too, you know? So make sure you have multiple samples, but I would love for someone to get this blue water tested and see what the fuck they're doing. Is it LSD? Is it blue toilet water from planes? I want to know what it is, dude. It's a fun conspiracy. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 500 subs. I'm at 430. I lost one, so please help me out with that. If you guys like conspiracies and just general life shit, keep tuning in, because I have 2 podcasts, Blue Pill and Conspiracy. I'm going to do some more game reviews, so I'll see y'all later.